Welcome to a quick tour of the Campaign Finance Institute's historical database of the state laws that govern money and politics. Within the visualization tool, you can build custom queries using drop-down lists. When you first come to the database, the default view shows you donation limits for individual donors to candidates for the House or Assembly in the year 2014. So let's say you want to know about Kansas limits for 2014. You can hover your mouse over Kansas and see what the limit is for individuals donating to a House or Assembly candidate in 2014. You can hover your mouse over any state to see what the limits are for those states and those variables. The colors here show general categories of values. You can hover over a category to show the states that have those values. You can also look at this grid. This grid shows you these values across states and years. Currently, the view is of the most recent year in the database, but you can use this drop-down menu to select the year. As you can see, that changes what's shown on the map. It also moves that rectangle down on the grid. You can also click on the grid to switch the year. And so let's say we want to compare the law from 1996 to the law from 2014. We can see sort of what changed by switching back and forth here. We can also sort by value. This gives us a ranking of the states. And when we switch the year, the sorting shifts as well to reflect the data from that year. So that's a brief tour of the way contribution limits are visualized and what you can do. But this is just one section of the database. There are many others. In the Contribution Limits tab, we have this scheme where there's a donor, a recipient, and a branch of government. So let's say you want to see the values, the limits, for contributions from a political action committee to a candidate for the House. You can see that data by selecting the Political Action Committee item from the donor menu, like this. And let's say you want to change it to view for the Senate. This is what that looks like. There are other tabs up here. For example, here is a tab for other restrictions, for disclosure, and public finance. Although the sorting functionality works the same, these tabs have simpler query builders, and each page has its own instructions. Each of these pages has a topic-specific explanation and also a link to a guided site tour. Finally, you should know that these visualizations cover only a tiny fraction of what you can get from the full database. If you want to download the underlying data for what you're seeing, or even download the whole database, you can use these buttons here. This button also takes you to a detailed guidebook for everything in the full database. And best of all, you are welcome to use this database and visualization free of charge, as long as you give credit to the Campaign Finance Institute for the years of work that it took us to do this. If at any time you need to see this video again, or wish to see a guided tour, simply click here. That's our brief tour of the Campaign Finance Institute Law Visualization. Enjoy exploring!